In the dawn of the 20th century, as America stood on the precipice of industrial revolution, one man's vision would forever change how the world moved. This is the story of Henry Ford and the revolutionary manufacturing process that transformed the automobile from a luxury for the wealthy into transportation for the masses. The year was 1903 when the Ford Motor Company was born in a modest workshop in Detroit, Michigan. But it wasn't just the birth of a company, it was the beginning of a manufacturing revolution that would reshape industry itself. Today, we'll journey back to those pioneering days when innovation, determination, and mechanical genius converged to create something extraordinary. Picture Detroit in 1900, a city of blacksmiths, carriage makers, and ambitious dreamers. Henry Ford, a former machinist and engineer, had already built his first automobile, the quadricycle, in 1896. But building one car was vastly different from building thousands. In those early days, automobile manufacturing was more craft than industry. Each vehicle was essentially hand-built by skilled artisans, a process that could take weeks or even months. Workers would gather around a single chassis, meticulously assembling each component by hand. The result? Cars that cost as much as a house, around $2,000 to $3,000 US, equivalent to over $60,000 today. Ford watched this painstaking process and envisioned something revolutionary: mass production. But first, he needed to perfect his design. Through trial and error, failed ventures, and countless sleepless nights, Ford developed what would become the Model T, a simple, reliable, and affordable automobile that would change everything. The breakthrough came in 1908 with the introduction of the Model T, affectionately known as the Tin Lizzie. But Ford's real genius wasn't just in the car's design, it was in how he planned to build it. Inspired by the efficiency he observed in slaughterhouses, where carcasses moved along overhead rails past stationary workers, Ford conceived the moving assembly line. Instead of workers moving to the car would move to the workers. The transformation began at Ford's Highland Park plant in 1913. Picture this revolutionary scene: a continuous conveyor belt slowly moving chassis through the factory floor. Each worker had a specific task: installing wheels, attaching engines, painting fenders. No longer did one person build an entire car. Instead, each worker became an expert at one crucial step. The results were staggering. What once took over 12 hours to assemble could now be completed in just 93 minutes. Production time was slashed by nearly 90%, and with it, costs plummeted dramatically. Let's walk through Ford's Highland Park factory and witness this industrial marvel in action. Step 1. The foundation. The process began with the chassis, the car's backbone. Workers would bolt the frame together at the first station, ensuring every joint was precise and strong. Quality control was paramount. Ford insisted on standardization down to the smallest bolt. Step 2. The heart of the machine. Ford's four-cylinder engine, simple yet reliable, was lowered into place with mechanical precision. Workers had exactly the right tools for their specific task, eliminating wasted motion and time. Step 3. The body and soul. The car's body, painted exclusively in black, as Ford famously said, "Any customer can have a car painted any color so long as it's black," was carefully mounted. This wasn't just about aesthetics. Black paint dried fastest, keeping the line moving efficiently. Step 4. The final touch. Wheels, headlights, and finishing touches were added in the final stations. Each completed Model T rolled off the line ready to drive, a mechanical miracle that took less than 2 hours from start to finish. But Ford's innovation went beyond just speed. He implemented interchangeable parts, components so precisely manufactured that any part would fit any car of the same model. This standardization was revolutionary, making repairs simpler and further reducing costs.
Yet this industrial revolution came with profound human implications. Ford's assembly line demanded a new kind of worker, one who could perform repetitive tasks with mechanical precision. Initially, worker turnover was astronomical. The monotony of assembly line work drove many to quit within days. Ford faced a crisis. How could he maintain his revolutionary production system without workers? His solution was as bold as his manufacturing innovation, the $5 workday. In 1914, Ford more than doubled the typical factory wage, creating what he called efficiency wages. Suddenly, working at Ford wasn't just a job, it was a pathway to the American dream. Ford understood something profound. His workers were also his customers. By paying them well, he created a market for his own products. Factory workers could now afford to buy the very cars they built, a revolutionary concept that helped birth the American middle class. The social impact was immediate. Workers flocked to Detroit from across America and around the world. The city transformed from a modest manufacturing center into the Motor City, the beating heart of American industry. Ford's innovations extended beyond just the assembly line. He pioneered vertical integration, controlling every aspect of production from raw materials to finished product. Ford owned iron mines in Minnesota, coal mines in Kentucky, and even rubber plantations in Brazil. Raw materials flowed into the massive River Rouge plant, where they were transformed into steel, glass, and rubber, then assembled into automobiles, all under one corporate umbrella. This integration eliminated middlemen, reduced costs, and ensured quality control. Ford could produce a car from raw ore to finished product in just 4 days, an unprecedented achievement in manufacturing efficiency. The River Rouge plant, completed in 1928, was a wonder of the industrial world. Spanning over 1,100 acres, it employed over 100,000 workers and could produce a complete automobile every 49 seconds. Visitors came from around the globe to witness this temple of efficiency, this cathedral of mass production. Ford also revolutionized logistics and supply chain management. Raw materials arrived by ship and rail, were processed in the plant, and finished cars departed for dealers nationwide, all in a continuous choreographed dance of industrial precision. By 1918, half of all cars in America were Model Ts. Ford's manufacturing revolution had achieved its goal, transforming the automobile from luxury item to necessity, from handcrafted curiosity to mass-produced reality. But the impact extended beyond transportation. Ford's methods, standardization, assembly line production, and efficiency wages became the template for modern manufacturing. Industries from appliances to electronics adopted his principles, reshaping the global economy. The social transformation was equally profound. The automobile liberated Americans from the constraints of geography, enabling suburban development, changing courtship patterns, and creating entirely new industries. The America of 1920 was fundamentally different from that of 1900, largely because of what happened in those Detroit factories. Henry Ford once said, "Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right." In those revolutionary years of the early 1900s, Ford thought he could change the world, and he did. His legacy lives on in every assembly line, in every mass-produced product, and in every time innovation meets determination to transform the impossible into the inevitable.